Welcome to the Giant Pod Christmas special with me, your host, Andy Wrintmore. I'm here on my own in a very large building, an undisclosed location, bringing you merriment and festive cheer. It should be Christmas Day when this comes out. So I hope you guys are having a good one wherever you are. I hope that you've managed to see the people you want to see this year. I know it's been sucky and unpredictable, and there's going to have been a lot of disappointment this year, but we are alive for another Christmas. So I guess there's something in that. So yeah, as I said, welcome to the Giant Pod Christmas special. I've never heard that intro music before. That is our Giant Pod theme tune, which is The Step by my band Sick Ones. If you want to listen to the proper version of that, it's on Spotify somewhere. But that was the Christmas edition. Wow, that's great. So basically, I'm sat here, I've got an iPad, it's got some bits on it that Harry, my illustrious producer, has put together. I don't really know what they are, I haven't really seen them, so there's going to be some surprises, basically. And I've got a notebook, it's just full of notes, scribbly notes. I'm looking at it now and I'm thinking, I can't even read my own handwriting. But there we go. So welcome to the Giant Pod Christmas special. Yes! We all love sleigh bells, don't we? Thank you for the sleigh bells there, Harry. Thanks for that one. So thank you to the listeners. Thank you. Thank you to everyone who has listened this year and has told a friend and left a review and has, kept up with all the episodes every week or binged 2 or 3 at a time. We really were not expecting such a great number of listens as soon as we started, really, and it's built week on week, and it's been really cool. We did do 2 episodes a week during this recent lockdown here in the UK, and I wasn't sure whether 2 a week was going to be too much, and you guys just ate that up as well. So thank you so much for being so enthusiastic. I get comments and messages every day, basically, about this podcast and how much everyone's enjoying it. So that's really, really cool. That's really, really fun. It keeps us going, keeps us motivated. And it's been such a blessing as well to talk to all these fascinating people and find out about their lives and what they're up to. This year's been a weird year, hasn't it? It's been a bloody weird year for a lot of people. For the billionaires who don't pay tax, it's been great, isn't it? But for most other people, it's just been proper shite. You may or may not know, I'm a town councillor in the town of Frome here in the UK. And this year I became the deputy mayor. So that was cool. But then I realised that because of COVID, there was not really any events or anything to sort of, put the chain on for. So I had to sort of create things. And so did Anita, the mayor. I just did a podcast with her recently. She's going to be in season 2, I believe. So keep your ears pierced. Keep your ears pierced. Keep your ears peeled for that one. And keep your ears pierced, you rock and rollers. There was a new Sick One single called Agility. I'm drumming on that. That's great. That came out in March. So just before really all of this properly kicked off. So that was a good thing, I guess, this year. If you want to stream that, that's on Spotify. Sick Ones is all one word. What else has happened? Yeah, we launched the pod. And then we had a few lockdowns. We had a nice summer, but we were sort of locked down for it. And it's just kind of got progressively worse since then, hasn't it? And here we go. We find ourselves on Christmas Day with 2021 around the corner. So I think that's something to take into account, though, is that soon we will have a new beginning. We've got this year out of the way. Vaccines on the horizon. Blah, blah, blah. There is hope. I don't think we should lose our focus just yet. And it's hard, isn't it? It's hard to be patient. And it takes a lot of strength to just be patient and just roll with the punches. Some days I'm like, yeah, this is fine. It's not affecting me whatsoever. And then other days I'm like, oh man, this sucks so bad. And then you kind of feel it creeping in on you, and you've got to be strong again, and you've got to be like, no, I'm going to be more resilient. So the year has been a weird one. It's been full of personal triumphs, but also there's been a lot of shit as well. And I just hope that anyone listening to this hasn't had a horrible year. So that was Christmassy, wasn't it? Fucking brilliant. Oh, Harry, that was a good one, man. I liked that. That was exactly what we needed after that rambling, dreary, everything sucked this year, non-Christmas special Christmas chat. Now I'm going to talk about something a bit better. I'm going to talk about some of the best TV and film and music. So I'll tell you some of the films I've seen this year that I really enjoyed. And they're not necessarily new films because I don't really stay up to date with music and film like that. I just sort of cherry pick the stuff that I know is interesting me or is on my watch lists, to-do lists and stuff. So one film that really stuck out to me this year was a film called Searching. I think you can get this on Netflix, but it's essentially about a father whose daughter goes missing, and he tries to look for her via tracing her online movements, and the whole film is seen through the view of a smartphone screen or a webcam. So it's literally you're the sort of the eye within the technology as you watch him search emails, bank accounts, blah, blah, and he pieces together or trying to find his daughter, basically. So it's called Searching. It's very good, very gripping, very clever. Another one I like is Swiss Army Man with Daniel Radcliffe and some other geezer. As I said, I haven't done enough research really for this. He basically plays a dead body, and this guy's stranded on some sort of island, and he sort of uses his body in all kinds of inventive ways, and he's like his only friend. And it sounds really bleak, but it's actually a very dark, sort of very funny comedy. Another one I enjoyed this year that I watched was Wolf Creek, which is a Australian B-movie, a bit legendary in the horror genre now, about some people that are out in the outback, sort of having not a spring break, but like some sort of a break. They're young'uns having fun, and they come across this psychopath, basically, and they are taken hostage, and it's this thrilling ride of them trying to get out alive, basically. And he's one of the best horror villains I've seen for a very, very long time. While we're on the subject of films, I want to give my man Badger Phipps a shout out here on the podcast. He launched a gaming and movie review channel on YouTube. I happen to be a big fan of it. He is my guy. He's my dude. And I thought, as we were talking about film, and actually every film I've mentioned is a film that he's bought me for my birthday this year. So thank you very much for that, dude. If you go to YouTube, check out Badger Phipps Reviews, chuck a subscription on there and enjoy, because he's really putting everything into it, and I really love it. TV, again, old stuff. What have I been watching? I watched a bit of Trigger Happy TV this year, and it was the hardest I laughed. The hardest I laughed all year. Trigger Happy TV. The hardest I laughed. It's a hidden camera show. Dom Jolly, legendary, but it's old. And they do stuff where they hang outside a public toilet. Basically, someone goes in, they go outside a public toilet. They've got 1 millionth user, and there's a band and stuff. And they've got, they come out unknowingly, and then all of a sudden there's this big celebration. Someone hands them a bottle of champagne, and it's like, congratulations, you're the 1 millionth user of this toilet. And they get all embarrassed, or where he goes dressed as a snail, and he's crossing the road in London, on the floor as a snail, very slowly. It's this hidden camera stuff, reactionary based stuff, and it really appeals to my sick sense of humor. I love it. And I was crying and howling. Another thing, which is a little bit not hidden, it's not a hidden camera, but it's sort of celebrity ambushes, is Dennis Pennis. It's played by Paul Kay, who was in Game of Thrones. He's basically this like ginger punk rock guy, and he sort of crashes celebrity parties and sort of rushes them and asks them very rude questions or insinuates very rude things to them, and he kind of gets their live reactions. Some of these celebrities are kind of hip to him, so in the end he had to like retire his character. But Dennis Pennis, put it into YouTube, it's absolutely hilarious. And the other one I've been watching this year that I'm going to recommend to you is Anthony Bourdain's Parts Unknown. R.I.P. Anthony Bourdain. He's basically a chef. He was got quite big in when was it? I don't know when it was, but he got big back in the day, and he wrote a book called Kitchen Confessionals, which was shining a light on the behavior of chefs and things in kitchen culture, and it was really quite shocking and quite a rock and roll move. And this show is a CNN show, very high production value. It's been awarded Emmys and things like that. And he basically travels to a certain place in the world that's kind of not necessarily known for their cuisine. Some of them are known for their cuisine, but he'll go to like Iran and places like that you wouldn't necessarily think to travel, and he'll go and try the food. But it's more than food. It's the way it's shot. It's so artistic. The production value on it is so great. The travel diary element of it is really great. The cultural side of it is great. The historical side of it is great. The whole thing is just a fantastic, fantastic series, and it really opens your mind up to certain parts of the world in about 45 minutes. The music that I like, what have I been into this year? Obviously, I was into the new Sick One single that I played on. That's called Agility. That's another plug right there, isn't it? Terrible. I liked the new Foo Fighters single called Shame, Shame. I thought that was very interesting. And then after this, it's basically a lot of reissues. I tend to buy deluxe edition reissues, box sets and things like that of old albums that I don't own, or I replace old pressings of albums with more modern, up-to-date mixes or whatever. But I did enjoy Chris Stapleton's Starting Over album that was new this year. Shout out to Loathe, who put out the album I Let It In and It Took Everything. They've just been on the front cover of Kerrang magazine. We've played with them a bunch of times. Shout out Faisal from the band, who's a friend of the pod. They're doing great this year until COVID. But even during COVID, I think they've done really well considering. Jason Isbell and the 400 Unit, his new album was really, really great. That's called Reunions. I loved that. Two Grateful Dead reissues I was into this year. The 50th anniversary deluxe edition of Working Man's Dead was great, and American Beauty was very good as well. I got into the Rolling Stones again as well. Sticky Fingers deluxe edition, Exile on Main Street deluxe edition. I got my hands on those. Neil Young, a lot of Neil Young this year as well. I picked up an album from 1995 called Mirrorball. That's him with Pearl Jam as his backing band. That's very, very cool. 3 Verve box sets. So you got a Storm in Heaven 2016 deluxe edition box set. Urban Hymns with what I think is a national anthem, which is Bittersweet Symphony on it. Again, deluxe edition remastered. And Northern Soul by The Verve, also remastered deluxe edition. That's bloody great as well. And so, yeah, that's it. That's it for the music and the culture, I guess. That's kind of what my year's been like. I've also played an awful lot of Call of Duty in lockdowns. Call of Duty Warzone, that free thing, with my friends. And that's been a really good way of letting off steam at the end of a long day when there's no pub available or something. It's really been really, really great. Up next, I've got some messages from people. I don't really know who I've got messages from, but I've got messages from Christmas messages So I'm gonna rattle through a few. We're gonna see who's wishing us a Merry Christmas. Let's see what's happening here.
I'm Justin Timberlake, and happy holidays. Don't eat too much.
Well, thanks, Justin, mate. Thanks very much, man. I mean, he knows that I like to eat. So, thanks, dude. Who else we got? A Merry Christmas, everyone, in the Timberlake camp. Who we got? Who's this?
This is Michael Bublé wishing all of you at home a very Merry Christmas. Happy holidays, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa. Have a safe and wonderful New Year. I hope you get to be with.
Wow, he's not left anyone out, has he? Only time we hear from Mickey Bubbles is at Christmas, when he's got to re-release that Christmas album in some other format. Who else we got? Who else we got?
Hi, I'm Jack Black. This holiday season, give the gift of Gulliver.
Huh? The Gift of Gulliver. Maybe that was a film he was in. Merry Christmas, Jack Black. I once interviewed Kyle Gass, his counterpart in Tenacious D, and he was very cool. So I imagine Jack in real life is quite cool. Who's this then? Who's this one?
Is it is it a happy holiday for your audience?
I hope so.
Well, then let's hope it's a happy holiday for you guys.
Who's that?
Is it a happy holiday for your audience?
I hope so.
Well, then let's hope it's a happy holiday for you guys.
Oh, it's George Clooney. Oh, George Clooney. Who have we got here?
Hello, Virginia Seggers here from the Froome Association of Retired Teachers. On behalf of myself and the rest of the Froominati, I would like to wish you a cult Christmas and an historic 2021.
Wow. Thank you, Saggers.
Hello, it's me. It's Cheryl here from Mojo Moves. I just wanted to wish you all a safe and happy Christmas. And if you are spending it on your own, give yourself a hug. Give yourself a pat on the back. You've done so well this year. And let's hope we can all reclaim our mojo back from the coronavirus in 2021. Lots of love.
Yes, thank you, Cheryl. Let's get our mojo back from the goddamn coronavirus in 2021. What have we got? What's this thing? It says transition on it. Let's just do that. Ah, well, that was bloody great, wasn't it? Thanks for that one, Harry. I like that. Rockin'. Yeah, as I mentioned Ginny Adams in that last segment for her couple of Christmas messages there and her alter egos, I thought it'd probably be a good idea to hype up some of the podcast episodes. Yeah, so I want to tell you guys to go and check out Ginny Adams' episode, because she's had a globe-trotting career of doing street theatre and playing various characters out in the real world, and you get reactions on the street in foreign countries and things like that. And the podcast with her was just so lovely, and there was emotional beats in it, and there was inspirational moments in it, and it was just a really, really, really great conversation. I'm just going to shout out a few things that I've jotted down here. I genuinely do feel like every guest we've had on the podcast has brought something very interesting and largely very unique to the table. So I do feel like every episode is its own thing. So if you've been on the pod and you're listening and I don't mention you now, it's not because I don't like your podcast. I like them all very much, and all for very different reasons, which I think is really cool. But yeah, you should definitely check out Dr. Susie Gage. It's very interesting. We have a chat about her podcast that's called Say Why to Drugs. It's on Scroobius Pip's Distraction Pieces Network. Was number one in the podcast Chris Bailey, another great chat. We talk about his work with the band The Streets, doing during their lockdown live stream thing. We talk about his start in photography. Loads of things. Marshall Brain. Spoke to Marshall Brain via Zoom. We talk about how you would populate Mars. How you get 1 million people to move to Mars and colonize Mars. Marshall started the infamous website How Stuff Works many years ago, sold that to the Discovery Channel, I believe. Made a hell of a lot of money, but then carried on teaching entrepreneurship and just possibly he might be the most intelligent person I've ever spoken to. He might be. It was really quite something. Another one of my favourites this year has been James Bartholomew. He hit me with all kinds of like ancient Egypt bee facts and things like that, and bees throughout history. That was super cool. Jess Helens was a delight. I love Jess to bits. She's a great character, got great spirit. Her story was super inspiring and empowering. Definitely check her episode out. That was very fun. Chris Bucklow was great. We talk about dreams, talk about his subconscious and how he figures out that everyone in his dreams are him. Bloody great. Bloody great. Like I said, if I haven't mentioned your pod, it's not because I think it's crappy. It's just because I can't list them all. But yeah, that's just some highlights. That should get you started. And then after that, there are so many more. I just want to take a moment to address my town, Frome, and just say I've just been so impressed by the way the town has handled itself during this and the community spirit. I can't speak on an individual level because I know there has been suffering and I know there's been upset. But I think on the whole, as a community, I think we did so well. I think we continue to do really well. And I think we've been very strong. We've been very resilient. I think it's brought the best out in us. We've done really well, I think, on the whole. And I've got a musical number for you now. I think this is what we're going to do to end the pod, actually. And it's sort of in keeping, I guess, with this year. It's called That's Life. It's by Frank Sinatra. I'm going to butcher it for you. It's going to be a bit of fun. Let's not take it too seriously. This is for Des O'Connor. This is for all those old school, all-rounder entertainers. I feel like it's sort of pertinent to this year. It might seem a little flippant to say, all this happened this year. That's life. But there's a certain quality to that stoic, stiff upper lip that I find quite attractive. And let's just do it. Let's get on with it. Let's get into 2021. Let's try and make that an all-round better year. And let's continue to work together in our communities and with each other to get through this. So, I'm just about to butcher this. But screw it. Merry Christmas. I hope it's a good one wherever you are. If you're on your own and you're miserable, I hope this has helped you out. I hope this has brought you some sort of joy or laughter and it's not been crap. And literally it's just me in this massive old building on my own, just chatting absolute nonsense like you, basically, with some lovely transitions. So yeah, I'm going to do a little Frank Sinatra now. I'm going to dedicate this to Des O'Connor. And let's hit it. That's life. That's what all the people say. You're riding high in April, COVID in May. But I know I'm gonna change that too. When I'm back on top in June. I said that's life. And as funny as it may seem, some people get their kicks stomping on a dream. But I won't let it get me down. 'cause this final world, it keeps spinning around. I've been a puppet, a pauper, a pirate, a poet, a pawn and a king. I've been up and down and over and out, and I know one thing. Each time I find myself flat on my face, I pick myself up and get back in the race. That's life. I tell you, I can't deny it. I thought of quitting, baby, but my heart just ain't gonna buy it. And if I didn't think it was worth one single try, I'd jump right on a big bird and then I'd fly. I've been a puppet, a pauper, a pirate, a poet, a pawn and a king. I've been up and down and over and out, and I know one thing. Each time I find myself laying flat on my face, I just pick myself up and get back in the race. That's life. Fuck. Well, my heart won't buy it. But if there's nothing shaking come this here July, I'm gonna roll myself up in a big ball and die. My. Fuck you, 2020. Thank you so much for listening to the Christmas special of the Giant Pod. This was meant to be something else, so we've improvised. This was produced by the festive Harry Williams. Thank you so much for all your efforts this year with everything in the podcast and all of these little musical bits for this episode. You've really gone above and beyond, so thank you so much. I hope that you're having a great Christmas wherever you guys are. I hope that you're enjoying your day. 2021 has got a lot to do. It's got a lot to live up to. It's got a lot of hopes and dreams pinned on it. 2020 has been a write-off in many ways. Let's say goodbye to that real soon and let's crack on. We've got vaccines and all kinds of stuff. It's for the taking. 2021 is for the taking. So let's get at it. Let's do this. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.